Ali Al-Alfi, how are you?
Well, thank you. Alhamdulillah.
I love having you here. I have experienced, as I have attended a somatic experiencing class with you last summer.
No.
No, wasn't that?
The yoga class.
No, لا ما كانش.
It was what?
كان
Colored.
somatic. Yeah.
Sort of adapted to suit the tools, the
لا يعني أنا كان it was very small movements
mm-hmm.
where for to embody and to come back to your body, and it actually worked wonders with me. يعني
Alhamdulillah, but that's
it kind of shifted. Maybe I was ready, but it did shift. I'll tell you exactly what it did. It connected me to my nervous system. At that moment, I realized I had a nervous system, to be honest.
No, I mean, that's amazing to hear. And it's exactly why I teach and why everything I offer now is influenced, is informed by my studies in somatic experiencing. And might as well define that, right?
Yes.
It's a form of therapy focused on trauma that helps us renegotiate its effects. And it's just so profound and simple that I've begun to bring it into the nature-based mindfulness activities I lead, into the yoga classes I offer, and that's what you attended.
This is what I experienced. But I mean, for me, it was really it was very strange. I even kind of felt my nervous system as part of my body. Like it wasn't something, you know how you can like visualize your muscles and you can visualize some, like this is how I function, right? But in this class, I was able to like, oh wow, those nerves, you know, and it was a beautiful experience. So just tell me a little bit about the technique, like.
Yeah, so what you're speaking of is interoception. It's this ability to map what's happening in the body, and for you to get a sense of your nervous system is profound. But again, I bring this into the yoga. I bring it into, well, every conversation that's being evidence of that. It's amazing what one can do in the way of taking ownership for their well-being, taking responsibility for their life when they have an idea of how their nervous system works.
Absolutely.
And including, you know, how activations show up and what I can then do to stabilize. And the bigger picture of that is holding space for what comes up, for my experience on a sensational level. That's the beauty of it. It's a bottom-up approach. So what I'm saying is it was a yoga class dedicated to slowing down, grounding, and listening to the body with an eye on tapping into safety. And yeah, I mean, so many yoga classes are now about fitness or gymnastics.
Became a competitive sport.
So why not take it in that direction? I mean, if you have goat yoga, who says you can't have yoga for nervous system stabilization and experiencing safety in your body?
Yeah. Tav, can you tell me a little bit about you and the road you took to get here? Like you refer to yoga, I'm sure that was like maybe where you started, and because you know every practitioner kind of, you first study and then things open up, ways open up, and maybe this is where you find your calling. So can you just take me through that from a very technical point of view?
Sure, I could try.
Yeah.
As reflecting on that question and how I used to respond earlier in my path, but I think life's a great flowing river, and sometimes you can paddle along, and other times, as most humans do, we resist. But it sort of brings you where you're going, and for me, childhood and adolescence. In fact, I was in my late 20s when I started to really slow down and pay attention to my body. But I was very disconnected, dissociated, unable to relate to my feelings, not sure who I was, what I was experiencing, feeling, what my place in the world was. And so after university, yoga was this opportunity to check in with myself. I used to play sports and I was very physical, but it's not the same thing as being in your body. So I started to learn to be present with my body, with my breath, and still, life had some twists and turns, and eventually I came to appreciate that it was the nervous system. That's the missing link. And I took a workshop 4 years ago, it was before Corona, 4 or 5 years ago. I had a little introduction to somatic experiencing. Funny enough, my current teacher was the one giving the workshop then, and it's been a few years that I'm in the course, still studying, and it's just made a profound difference. So if you ask me what was my path, I could come up with a nice little story and tell you about yoga in India and then finding Sufism, but I think life just serves you what you need, and often we close the door, we turn away, and it just finds another way to meet us.
Absolutely.
So for me that was hardship, heartbreak.
I believe more often than not, our own experiences and our own self-work, our self-mastery, it is what moves us into gaining more experience and wanting to help others to go through whatever we're going through, or whatever we went through. I think it's just part of being human, to go through an experience, study that experience, and then want to share it with others to make their experience easier, maybe.
100%. And I think a friend of mine, a therapist friend of mine, she did make that exact point. She said, there may be some exceptions, but the vast majority of us in this field of therapy and healing got into it because of our own struggles, our own hardships, our own wounds, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to go a little deeper with that, I think I think this is what, not only in the well-being industry, but also in any industry, your wounds is something that kind of moves you sometimes, into your purpose somehow. But let's not philosophy. That goes
both ways. I mean,
philosophy is for another time. Right now, we just want to understand what is somatic experiencing, from a very physical, logical ABC layman words.
Okay, well, somatic is soma is a Greek word, and I believe it means a thriving body. Somatic experiencing is, just as the name indicates, an opportunity to be with the experience in your body, to listen to and feel into what comes up for you. Because, as we know, trauma is in the body, and our opportunity to tap into the healing vortex, so every trauma vortex has its healing vortex. So our opportunity to renegotiate is through the body. And so it's a bottom-up approach. So rather than, top down, trying to understand, discern, work through cognitively our problems, we're sitting with what is. And it involves nervous system stabilization, using resources to feel into safety, feel into ease, feel being the key word.
Yeah.
an experience that then sets the stage for us scratching the surface of what we've been running from, what we've been hounded by, what's behind the numbing, the escape, the mechanisms.
Addiction, if you may.
Addiction is one expression of that, but I mean, if we're to keep it simple, it's avoidance. We avoid, some of us avoid pain, and it's understandable, but the pain is trying to usher us home. The being with the pain is it's a whole school of learning. But how do we do that if we're so tormented, if we're so afraid? So somatic experiencing creates the conditions for us to look to and relate to the body and what's felt from this place of stability and safety. We pendulate in and pendulate out, and with time our capacity, our ability to contain experience grows. And
this is where we can actually kind of go through, I'm not going to say painful experience, but adverse experiences. Like these days we're living in a world that is erratic. And I think we've tapped into that earlier today. And this window of tolerances, as it's been told to me, is what we need to work on. And I think somatic is what is kind of one of the tools that expands that. How much stress I can tolerate, how much can I be present and calm within the adversity. You know, they always tell you that the trick is to be calm within, like, the world is going crazy, but you have your vision, you're focused, you're calm, and you're going through it. And I think this is how you kind of survive, survive the adversity, and even more optimistically learn from it, maybe.
When you say adversity, you mean those internal experiences?
Adversity is, I think everything can be internalized, but I mean adversity is, for example, how much stress I can handle at work. If I have the tolerance within me to find that calm, I'll be able to handle more stress, you know, so I will be able to reach my potential, and it's not going to be called stress at the time. You know what I mean? Sure. So I'll be able to navigate life with a certain calmness, no matter what is going, no matter what's going on in the outside of me, you know, be it global events, or be it just a car accident, or be it some annoying mishap that happened in the supermarket.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, yeah.
Please don't agree.
There's this term I came across recently, Zen zombies.
Yeah.
And it's something we see a lot of in the spiritual world. You know, these coaches and most of the yoga teachers sitting very still, calm on the outside. And who knows what's going on the inside. And I maybe you were talking about poise, but I just wanted to say, I wanted to put the spotlight on this. It's not a notion, it's a truth. You can feel your feelings, you can be outraged. There is an aspect, an expression of aggression that is healthy. Rage is not unfounded given what's going on in the world. Yeah. But are you aware of, you also said, you know, present with what's going on for you, your internal experience, or is it moving you? Are you responding to what comes up and giving it a channel, expressing from it, or is it dictating to you? A lot of people are burned by their anger, and I don't think that's constructive. I don't think that's what they need, but there are those who learn to create from it, learn to channel it into constructive causes, transmute it, right? But they feel the feelings, and so I just wanted to make that point
distinction, because I love that
it's okay to be heartbroken right now.
That's exactly that's what I like. But I mean, the tool to be able to be truly calm there's a very big difference between suppressing something, suppressing my emotions. I'm suppressing it to look calm, because that's what the right or the spiritual people do. Again, but there's a whole, like don't get me started, but there is a lot of lack of authenticity when it comes to it, or a certain level of authenticity, to each his own. But I mean, if I may say it, spiritual bypassing, if I'm going to use that word, it's about that it's like everything is good, everything is fine. While no, things are not good. Staying calm is different. I am aware that things are not good. I understand that what's happening, this is unfair, this is disrespectful, right? And I can feel my feeling. This can make me angry. But what am I going to do with the anger? Just like you said, is it going to move me to take action, or is it going to burn me because I'm suppressing it and I don't have the capacity to take action? Or I'll be able to transmute it into painting or art, And I think this is exactly what you said. What am I going to do with that? But ultimately, I have the awareness and I have the connection with myself and my nervous system to be able to navigate all of these conversations, internal dialogue, All
the different internal experiences, the different expressions of the nervous system, and that's the whole idea behind a healthy nervous system. People have this idea that a regulated nervous system is a calm nervous system.
No.
But no, it's one that can navigate from activations back to the baseline, from being suppressed, stuck even in freeze, back up to baseline. It's a nervous system that can fluctuate freely. This is the true meaning of regulated. And I play a role in supporting this innate function. But I hear you, and I do appreciate where you were coming from. I just wanted to make that distinction because there's a lot of freeze out there. And
numbness.
And to come out of that to thaw, is to release and give space for the discharge of all the charges, energies underneath that, the fight and flight underneath the freeze. And that's so important if we're talking about completion or renegotiating the effects of what we've been through. Trauma is a big word, and I think it scares a lot of people because it is scary. The very definition of it is too much, often too much too soon, but it can be a build-up over time. Witnessing a genocide for a year can be traumatic in small doses, sometimes big. Yeah. Deep breath. So to feel into our feelings is crucial, but there's a way to do that, and this is what I'm learning: to slow down, ground, find stabilization, and then titrate. Try to piecemeal, one little bit at a time, so we're not exceeding our threshold. What was the window of tolerance you said? Containment in somatic experiencing terms. It all means the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're not exceeding our capacity, our present capacity.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing is that capacity grows. Our capacity for containment is not fixed, but one little bit at a time.
Yeah.
When we feel it's too much, we come back to stability, to feel all our feelings so we can navigate the ups and downs of life. And it's not just, what's happening in Gaza and Lebanon. We live in a world and an age where an email can send us into freeze, or the phone ringing, how ridiculous.
I think everyone is on the brink. Everyone is on the brink of exhaustion. Yani. I mean, it's we have. I think on a collective level, like everyone is like really hanging by a wire. So how can we move from that? Like, how can we move from that technically? Like through somatic experiences, yani,
experiencing.
What is the goal here?
I just don't want to appropriate somatic, the term somatic, because there's so many expressions of it, right?
Yeah.
So somatic experiencing is this
You'd
modality.
be I mean, that's you'd be the expert in that. Yeah.
Well, we're training. I'm still at the very beginning.
Yeah. Or practitioner of that. Yeah, I love the word
like
practitioner.
That. Yeah.
Yes.
Leave space that.
Yeah.
So it starts with slowing down, grounding, and a cool little tool is orienting, taking a moment to, we did all this in class, right?
Yeah.
Taking a moment to just look around. And the key is slow little movements, notice the space, something magical happens, and I'm convinced that it's my animal self. Because we are evolutionary beings, right?
Yeah.
Even our brain has different phases of evolution, and the animal self, to know that there's no tiger in the room, there's no threat, puts my nervous system at ease. And that's relative, right? But if you're way up here in activation, you come down just a little bit. Hallelujah. That little bit is felt a lot. So slow down, ground. And to ground is just to feel the mass of your body. So if you're in the garden, wonderful, take your shoes off like like us, feel the earth. If not, settle into a chair. Find a little balance in your posture. Feel that support of your spine.
Yeah.
And that's a key word, support.
Yeah.
Do I feel
carried?
My mass is held? Can I feel the weight of my body? And you just take your time with that. And we were talking earlier about how it's about experiencing the body.
Yeah.
And that's real simple, but the tendency is to intellectualize that. To think about
I think I feel
my weight, you know?
Yeah.
To think about the earth and then start to think about the carpet and the texture of the carpet. I wonder where this came
But it
from.
is a pathway as well.
To what?
To grounding. Like, I mean, I don't know how
You
else
can conceptualize.
Yeah.
You can certainly use your mind. You use this mental faculty of imagination to imagine roots. But I think that supplements rather than acts as the core somatic experiencing, right? Am I in my body?
Yeah,
and that's relative. The more you practice,
you just is. Yani you're just in your body.
There's
no
more and more
logic.
Aware of, connected to, in relationship with your body. That's endless. Our ancestors used to, work the earth. They used to wear natural fibers. Their feet were connected to this earth energy. There's an electromagnetic charge there. They had a sense of the cycles. They knew the Coptic names of the months. They had a sense of what was coming when. So to be in your body, to ground, to feel the earth, that's an ongoing process, coming back. And we're coming back from here, from our very cortical living, from this being out, thinking about what's next, what my place is in the world, how am I doing financially, am I moving along career-wise, but to come back and feel your body can be quite challenging if that is our orientation, if that's become our conditioning. So to feel one's body. Yeah. And I'm talking circles around it to give time to feeling into the
feeling
body.
The body,
right?
but I feel are we like this is exactly what's gonna give people a taste of what somatic experiencing is. Like this is where I can actually sit with you and realize that, oh my goodness, my toes are cold. And then and I'm thinking was it because it's cold, or is it because I'm a little bit
That's the intellectualization.
That's why I'm telling you, I don't know how.
But to notice your feet are cold.
Yeah.
To notice your feet are cold. And then not do anything about it except be with that.
The fact that it's cold and it's fine, Yeah. And I think this is where safety is. I think this is where safety grows. And no, I can accept the fact that my heart is palpitating and it's fine. And it's okay. I can accept the fact that my toes are cold and it's okay.
Or be with the aspect of your experience that is not okay with your heart palpitating,
Yes,
your feet being
exactly.
cold. Notice the resistance on a sensational level.
Yes.
Because then you're
Why
learning
is there
something
fear there? And
about
why
you
is,
too.
it's beautiful, but I mean, do you think it's for everybody? Because like right now when I'm sitting with you, I can understand, but I understand how like we kind of elevated a little bit, or we went through an experience in a very like conceptual way. I can't even find the word for it. Do you think it's for everybody? Like everyone can have their own experience?
My yoga teacher used to say, if you can breathe, you can practice yoga, and I think similarly, if you have a body, somatic experiencing is for you.
If you have a body.
Yeah.
If you think you have a body, you know.
It's amazing. Some of my somatic experiencing teachers, so people who've been in the field for tens of years, they speak of clients who have partial paralysis or are so bedridden they can't move their feet. They don't have a sense of cold toes, and still they're able to relate. So it's about relating.
Fantastic.
And that's a work in progress. And the whole idea is not to judge yourself. You spoke of safety. So safety comes in two forms. We didn't even get through the stabilization, but I'm sure we'll come back to it. Safety has two expressions. You can resource for safety. So so those chairs over there, they remind me of my grandma's house. They're my safety resource. I think of my grandfather who was a judge, and I'd go to their house for refuge. I'd go to their house if I did something bad or broke something big, and he'd always he'd meet me with this grounded energy, ask me what the problem was, and we'd work through, find a solution. So he's a safety resource. I think about him. I imagine myself walking to their house, meeting him, and I start to feel safety. But the bigger picture of safety is, can I be with me? Can I trust myself not to judge my experience?
That's a big one.
Yeah, can I be that
chair
that
for
quality
myself
that my grandfather gave me, or that chair represents?
Yes. Can I create that within me? And these are questions that the tool, so the somatic experiencing opens up for the individual. Like to be able to create for yourself that net of safety.
100%. I mean, somatic experiencing is a form of therapy, and people come and they feel better, and they get insight. There is an aspect of mental illumination that happens, meaning that comes up that we then action. But the way I offer it and adapt it into workshops for groups is to empower individuals with an understanding of how this is working. So I give them an experience, and then we unpack, we debrief the practice, talk about their experience, and then go through a series of exercises to ground, to feel. It's funny that we have to relate to this again, but I kid you not, people will go to that table with a bunch of different textures and have realizations about incredible things. This one woman said, realized I've been feeling materials, I've been dressing for other people, but actually really uncomfortable
for myself. I love that insight.
So you get this insight, and then you have an idea of, okay, stabilization is grounding, slowing down, grounding, and orienting. That's the recipe, the formula we've come up with in somatic experiencing. And this is how I can recreate that for myself at home. I might not have Ali or whoever it is holding the space, helping remind me, but I can,
tap into it.
Create a little heat, start to feel my body until things slow down, and then allow myself to appreciate the mass and orient, look around a little bit. And I might not do it as slowly as I did during the session, but still I might orient it. So certainly for me, it's a matter of giving people tools so they can own their own process.
I love that. Do you think it requires a level of to join and to be open? Does it require a level of honesty for this to work? Like I need to have that initial communication with myself to begin with, right?
100%. I have daughters all the time come to me and say, Ali, can you help my mom with so and so, or vice versa? Mothers, can you help my son or my daughter with this? And I ask them, do they want to work on it?
Yeah.
Are they
like there's always how many light bulb, how many people can change a light
How many
bulb?
people does it take to change
Change
a
a
light
light
bulb?
bulb.
Yeah.
It just needs to be. It just one. It requires to be changed. If the light bulb wants to be changed.
All the
I
examples
don't
I
think
know
that's
of that
wrong.
joke are terrible.
It's like it's just bad.
Yeah,
But
willingness. You have to opt in, and that requires honesty too.
Yeah.
They say the starting point for change is awareness, right?
Yeah.
Are you not just aware, but willing to acknowledge that there is, I won't say a problem, a situation, an ailment, suffering, and are you ready to work on an alternative to coping, or an alternative to the addiction that has sort of helped you escape, or quit numbing, come home.
Yeah.
So 100%, but if you've got that, if you're ready to be a little uncomfortable,
Where if
I can teach you to be more uncomfortable.
I mean, it's just I feel we'll always it's always a kind of a flow of experiences versus tolerance. I feel there's some kind of connection there. I'm still figuring it out, but I feel that maybe part of the quest of life is to grow with whatever tools that is present, or heal with whatever tools that is present, to be able to take on or accept more of the world and maybe change it a little bit. Like, I don't know, like I'm still working myself. I'm still in my own workroom, and I think it's part of who it became part of who I am. Like, doing the work became part of who I am, and I feel like there's always curiosity around it, and I wonder what this would open up,
I think that's beautiful. Yeah. Our ability to contain, it goes both ways. Our capacity to endure suffering, to hold space for suffering, is the same capacity for feeling, experiencing joy.
Yeah, I believe so. Because this is always a two-faced coin. Like, I mean, this is that. So the capacity is the same. It's the same coin. وبقى مش coin. بقى حلة مش coin.
And you're saying, life's experiences, I believe, is trying to teach us, is conspiring for our evolution. So again, it serves us joy and suffering. Yeah. It's asking us, it's giving us the opportunity to be present, to stay with experience. What does present mean? Because for a decade, more, 14 years, I practiced and studied yoga, different texts, different approaches, and I heard this thing and was desperate to believe that presence is enough, awareness is enough, but what quality of awareness? And even when you start to read about compassion and appreciate the importance of self-compassion, what does that look like? How am I meant to be with emotions? These are things we're not taught in school. We're not taught in yoga classes. We're not
taught anywhere.
In most, I mean, even many spiritual domains, settings where the goal, the whole mission is to heal, to evolve, to ascend. We're not taught how to be with difficult experiences. We're told to accept, but
how?
So somatic experiencing. I mean, again, I speak about this because it's the purest, most honest form, modality I've come across, because it's asking me to reflect on, to hold space for what's showing up in this moment. It's amazing, Yara. It's not philosophical. It's not so much about the event. I'll start to say, I went into the sea, and my therapist will notice I'm activated, and she'll say, okay, pause. What are you noticing right now? And we work with that.
Yeah.
Presently, what comes up. And And so tracking sensations, that's the other big bit. Stabilizing the nervous system, resourcing for safety. And once you've done that, there are the conditions to now look to the body from this place of safety. What's happening? Tracking sensations. And it's simple. That's why we do the little exercise. One of the reasons, with all the different materials on the table, so we can
What am I
connect with feeling. You know, what does it feel like when you bring your hand just under the jaw? What's the rug feel like under your feet? What's the experience sitting in this chair? On simple terms, can I become more simple, more basic in my awareness and just track what's happening in my body? Whether it's subtle or gross, simple or sensational. Because we look for the sensational, right? But the quiet voice, making it relatable. But
and I love that.
so
I mean,
key.
yeah, and what you're saying, and I mean, this is how you build trust with your body, and I guess that's the key.
Yeah, to go pee when you need to pee. To put that ice cream cone down when your stomach grumbles for the third time.
You're hearing it. Like, you know, a few years back, I just realized what hunger, what full feels. I had no idea how to feel full. I would eat until until like my mind would say that's enough, or I will not eat, you know, and I would starve myself. And that's like a whole different podcast. I
can relate to that so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's, if you go there, you're gonna go there, right? But how to be like, the body carries intelligence. And my last question would be, is this what does it access? Because in self-mastery modalities, and I like to call it self-mastery rather than healing, because I feel healing kind of lost the meaning it carries. But self-mastery gives me the kind of, it empowers a little bit. You know, I'm working to understand myself better, and to become the master of myself, to be able to either connect to my body in a way, or connect or visualize my nervous system and know it exists. I understand that the body carries intelligence. However this kind of intelligence is going to manifest out. But again, my path is self-mastery, rather, like to know myself enough. Anyway, what does it tackle? Mind, body, or soul? We understand that it's connected, but the somatic experiencing, what does it, what is it, like a mind or a body or a soul?
The nervous system is the key to our healing. And its language is sensations. So we turn to the body as a form of relating to the nervous system, not a form, an avenue. So it's bottom up. It's somatic, again, means of or relating to the body. And the outlook is one of holistic healing. But if, like me, you've tried to do affirmations, you've tried to get early morning sun and hydrate and this and that, and still you wake up and the chronic pain is there, or again and again, you know,
your anxiety,
you have these breakdowns, anxiety swallows you up whole, you keep finding yourself in
falling back into depression. I mean, everything, like every one of those is like a symptom of it.
Of what? Of something going on in the nervous system. So
absolutely.
Can we listen to it by way of the body? Can we communicate to it through the body? Can we look to find completion? And when I say completion, it means playing out with a new ending the incident, the experience that ended up causing us to be stuck in trauma. Can we find that completion through the body? So if people will gesture in a session, they'll be like, we're like, okay, pause, you know, can we just notice that? Can we try that again slowly? What's that wanting to say? And the things that come out, that come through, and the way people not just feel, but look after the shifts Um, it's just incredible.
Fantastic.
Slowing down and giving the body a chance to express.
Wonderful.
So journal, drink your whatever, pH balanced water or whatever it is. Go for your daily walks, adjust and tend to your diet. It's so important, but also listen to the body.
The body knows. The
Body
body is
knows.
king. I would vow for that. The body is king.
Like you said, it's so intelligent.
Yeah, it is very intelligent, and I mean, on this earth, at this time, we are here in our bodies, and our bodies is king actually.
Yeah.
Like we can be all soulful or mindful or whatever, but at the end of the day, this is what contains it. The body is what contains it, and it carries a lot of information. And I think we just, if we connect to that, if we have the intelligence or the tools as somatic experiencing would provide, is to build that connection, to understand the body is more than muscle, to understand the body is more than organs, to understand the body is more than a nervous system. It's just kind of a holistic expression of who I am, you know.
And every part speaks in intelligence.
Absolutely.
I used to practice yoga for a long time, do this breathwork, pranayama, and then meditation, and I was trying so hard to arrive at something through that.
Yeah.
And I've come to appreciate that just listening to my body, slowing down, grounding, and I mean again and again and again.
And there's like no place to reach. There's no end goal.
It's just here
Yeah,
now.
it's here and now.
It's the teaching of yoga.
It's just as simple as that. It's right here, right now. What am I willing to, like?
What's
not
happening?
even not even willing to do anything. Just
What is?
I am.
What is?
Yeah.
What says I am?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's speaking of that?
I love
And
that.
how is it speaking right now?
Yeah, but I feel like all of this has to be carried into a spiritual container, like to be able to surrender to the sensations of the body, to be able to have the courage to like trust your body enough. I'm sure it requires trusting that you're safe, trusting that you're held. Whether within class or like if I'm going to take that away from myself, that trust from experience, honestly, I have to trust into, like, I go back to God and trust the fact that, you know, I'm protected and I'm loved, and no matter what happens, this is the container I navigate my life through, you know?
I think the word spiritual, like healing, has been
Of course, abused.
butchered. But again, you know, reading the texts, following different paths, meeting with teachers. Maybe this is just my experience. What I needed was to be in my body. There's a way to ascend that involves extending roots down. In fact, I think if you set the roots, that upward growth will follow. But if you, and I garden, I grow things. If you focus too much on what's on top, as soon as there's a wind, a shortage in the watering, you'll realize
It's all about the
the
roots.
tending down under was so important. But if you focus on the root system, whatever needs to happen, whatever potentiality there is, will be realized. So for me, spiritual practice right now involves tending to this body, being present with my experiences, holding space for the suffering. All of this grows my heart. All of this helps me become a humanized human being. And if I can relate to other human beings, birds, the bees, see and connect with the trees, honor life in different forms, I think this is a very high spiritual practice. And I think it's one that's called for in our day and age. Maybe we don't need a bunch of meditators sitting in the room. Maybe, I mean, if they're finding.
I don't know. This might create a little bit of controversy, I mean, but I haven't been able to meditate Like I just, it's not something that I have
Ever?
access to. No, I used to meditate and now I don't have access to it. Like it doesn't make me feel comfortable at all. And honestly, I find my meditation through prayers. Yani, I mean, I just do my fives and they ground me and they meditate me and like, honestly, yani, I found my path. I found my connection through that. Yani.
Yeah, I think yoga, spiritual practice is meant to wake us up to life, so we're more presently doing whatever it is we're doing, raising children, growing food, eating food, running a car rental company, whatever it is. Yeah. And if you do it more presently, more compassionately, that's a spiritual expression. But about the meditation, I used to practice meditation and teach meditation, and one day I realized meditation was, for me, a bypassing. Meditation for so many people is re-traumatizing.
Yes.
So feel your body, be present here, ground, and be awake to
Absolutely.
life.
I mean, that I could do. Yeah. That I feel very drawn to doing. Like
and
I want to be.
It's not less than anything.
No, I don't think it is. Ali, thank you so much for, I think we have just experienced a somatic experiencing. Isn't that what it's called? It's just simply being in your presence, isn't it?
It's being in your presence. It's feeling your body. I have to feel my body because that went right to my head.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's been quite something, really. Thank you for that.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
Thanks.
I'm glad this worked out.
Yeah, I mean, you're meant to be here.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak about this this modality that has made a world of difference for me, and I truly, fully believe and commit to.
I hope more people would resonate with it, and if it's their path, then it's their path, you know.
Yeah.
To self-connect, connect to self.
And if not, maybe it just opens a window of insight into their body, and
100%.
And to run with that.
100%. Thank you.
Pleasure.